Hello there, Grumpy Old Fart here. I do a series of videos titled Technophobe, and there's a reason I do it. There's some technology out there that I don't like. Uh, not all technology is bad, but all technology can be bad, depending on how it's used. And there's a lot of technology out there that just makes it so easy for bad people to do a lot of bad things. I talked about the invisibility cloak that is actually a real thing. I talked about a number of different things. The last one I talked about was time travel. I had a number of friends ask me some questions as to they don't understand how time travel could possibly be and blah 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 blah. And uh, it turns out there are some scientists, real scientists, who are actually trying to make it work. I don't think time travel should be created, invented, perfected, whatever. Because there, in my opinion, going back in time is not going to do anything but hurt people. I talked about the grandfather paradox, where you go back in time, you meet your grandfather, and you have an argument and you kill him by accident or whatever. If he died then, how can he ever get married and have a kid to who would then father you? You know, that kind of thing. My point is, messing with the past can't do anything for the future. At least nothing good. There's another theory that says the past can't be changed because if you go back in time, that future becomes your past, and I don't subscribe to that. But I don't know. I'm not a temporal theorist. I am not a scientist in any way, shape, form, or fashion. I do like to read a lot. Many people have asked me how time, space, and velocity are related. Uh, Einstein, he did his theory of relativity and a few other theories. Einstein said that if you travel fast enough, you can achieve time travel. And in that video on time travel, I talked about some of that stuff. Now Einstein had his theories, and they're all brilliant. He's a brilliant man. But since few of us have advanced degrees, I'm going to try to explain them in layman's terms. And I'm not trying to be a know-it-all or anything, but I'm going to try to put it in terms that people can understand. Makes things a little easier, you know. Time and space are related. Let me explain. Space encompasses everything in reality, all the physical objects in reality. Um, for example, in space, there's 24 hours in a day, right? In our planet right now, there's 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year. How do we determine that? It takes 24 hours for our planet to rotate one full revolution. That's a day. And that takes 24 hours. So, if our planet was bigger, meaning space was altered so that the planet was bigger, it would take longer to rotate around, which means there would either be the hours would be a different length of time, or there would be more hours in the day, which would change the whole concept of time. Uh, if the planet rotated faster but was the same size, it's getting into velocity here. If the planet was rotating faster but was the same size, there would be fewer hours in the day. If the planet rotated the same speed but was smaller, there would be a lot fewer days or hours in the day. You see what I'm saying? In other words, you've got a sphere and it rotates so fast. For that point to go around all the way once takes 24 hours. If it was bigger, it would take longer to go around. If it was smaller, it would take a shorter amount of time to go around. Okay? Space-time. And all that's time, all of it. It takes X amount of time to do something. But if the space is not constant, the time variable alters. Velocity. One orbit of the planet around the sun equals a year. Right? Well, if the velocity of the planet was faster or slower, it would change the length of the year. Right? If, for example, the orbit was closer to the sun, but the planet was traveling the same speed, the length of the year would shorten, because it's still one revolution around the sun, right? That's a year. But if it didn't take as long to go around, the length of the year would shorten. It wouldn't be 365 days. It would be, say, if it shrunk, the orbit shrunk, say it was only 210 days for a year. If a year was only 210 days long instead of 365 days in the year, how old would you be? It would affect your age. Do you see what I'm saying? Say, I'm 53. That's 365 times 53. That's how many days old I am on my birthday. Now, what if the year, instead of 365, was only 210? It would be 53 times 210. That's how many days it would be. I would be younger. You see what I'm saying? Time, space, it's all variable. Einstein proved that with his theory of relativity. Now, I'm not trying to be a know-it-all. I'm trying to make this as simple as I can. I heard this in a funny movie one time, and it stuck with me, and I don't know why it did, but it did. If you're looking at a clock, and the hands are going around this way, right? Okay. But you're looking at the clock, and you're traveling away from the clock at the speed of light, then the hand of that clock ticking over would never happen. It would look as though time stopped. Why? Because you're traveling faster than the light. The light from bouncing off the clock, the hand of the clock, would never reach your eye, because you're traveling as fast as it away. So the hand of the clock would appear never to move, even if it did. Weird, isn't it? I got another good one for you. You ever walk outside, look up and see the sun? No, you haven't. Let me explain. You walk outside, you look up and you see the sun, right? You don't see the sun. You see a picture of the sun as it was 8 minutes ago, because it takes light from the sun 8 minutes to travel from the sun to the earth. So you're not actually looking at the sun. You're looking at a picture of the sun as it appeared 8 minutes ago. Isn't that weird? Yeah. You get into the theory of relativity and velocity and time, space, and you can come up with all kinds of weird stuff like that. Right now, we're all time travelers. We all are. We're traveling forward at a set rate. If we can somehow alter that, then that's the trick. But naturally, we're traveling ahead at a set rate. How fast are we traveling? Well, that also depends on how big the planet is, how fast it rotates around the sun. It's all relative. Hence the theory of relativity. See, it's actually not that difficult once you think about it, but it does create some interesting hypotheses and some interesting conversations. If this gets people to talking, amen. But do your own research and put comments down or whatever. That's fine. I like reading the comments. You folks have a good day. God bless one and all.